Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And today, we have new card day. We've got, I think, 17 or 18 Grandmaster decks, a whole bunch for Hit Monkey, a whole bunch for Loki, and so much more for you. Before we get started, though, I'd like to invite you to hit that sub button, leave a like, and leave a comment. It really helps us grow. It's completely free to you. We bring you more new great decks than anyone. We do bundle reviews, we do custom cards, we do pro tips, everything you need for your Marvel Snap journey. If you check the video we posted on Sunday, Sunday is a video that goes over everything you need to know to optimize your card acquisition of Series 4 and 5 cards in Marvel Snap. So please make sure you check that video out. I think you'll really like it and hit that sub button. In addition, we maintain a giveaway sheet just as a community service. It's in the description to this video. Feel free to just bookmark it so you don't have to keep looking for it. It's constantly updated by our friend Banshee. And that that sheet has every active giveaway in Marvel Snap. So if you want to win some free stuff, find some great content, that's a way. Next Wednesday, 8 days from today, we're kicking off our next season pass giveaway. So we give away 15 season passes every single season. Comment, ring that notification bell so you don't miss the videos and you don't miss your chance at a free Black Swan. All right, questions of the day begin our video as always. SD, don't be evil, wants to know what I'd like to see from clans that would keep me checking in regularly. And largely a social aspect. It'd be a dream if there were ways to like watch back and offer coaching, but like that seems extremely unlikely. I'd be happy if you just gave us progress, a way to keep active and a chat. As long as we can talk and hang out, I'm perfectly happy. Um, the social aspect is likely to just be on Discord, let's be completely honest, which will make this a little less appealing to me. But if they had like an in-game chat client and like good and interesting rewards for us to aim for as a group, I think that would be really fun. Shakti wants to know what Series 4 cards to target, and I think the Series 4 card that you should target above all others right now is fundamentally Zabu. I think Zabu is a meta card. It's constantly in meta decks. It's absolutely stellar and extremely powerful. If you can target X23, I think Null is an amazing target because everything else in that deck is Series 3, 2, or 1 cards. So if you get Null, you target X23, all of a sudden you have a working deck. I don't know if there's a third exactly on that level, but if you're sick of getting beat by things like Death, things like Sarah, then getting Mobius is an excellent way to compete. I think Mobius is a severely underrated card and one of the best Series 4 cards in the game. Now, Joe Pro asks if I anticipate the rise of Darkhawk decks after the Blob nerf. So, Darkhawk is number 3 if that's the case. And right now, the highest win rate things in the game are Darkhawk decks, but I'm not sure if that's because no one's really playing them. If they've got that high win rate and it sustains, I'll let you know soon. It's literally just the Ega Leechhawk deck. We've been talking about it for literally 2 months now. So, but that Ega Leechhawk deck has one of the biggest win rates in a smaller sample size. So let's see if that is something that maintains or if not. And if that does maintain, then Darkhawk and Zabu are like the 1 and 2 to get, and then Ravonna goes up the list of cards to get to. If you'd like your question read out in tomorrow's video, leave one in the comments. As a reminder, our Patreon at patreon.com/snapjudgments comes with priority answers. If you ever have a question you want answered, you drop it there. I'll always get back to you faster than any. All right, our spotlight card for, well, tomorrow is the Grandmaster, or just Grandmaster. He's a 2-0, which means he must be good. You know, like Adam Warlock with that impressive stat line. Series 5, 6,000 tokens. On reveal, move one of your other on reveal cards here to the middle location. Its ability happens again. So he's fundamentally like a little move trigger, but what he really does is he's like an absorbing man or a um Odin for a left or right location card. As long as you keep only one on reveal in that location, he's going to be an extremely powerful. Cool. All right. Before we go further, some people only choose to buy these cards based on variants, or it's a large portion of whether they buy cards or not. So our spotlight caches. This is the only Grandmaster variant in the game. We used to look at every variant that was data mined for the cards, but this month has no data mine variants except for one extra Hercules. So this is the Grandmaster. It's great. I don't intend to pull for it to be perfectly honest, but it is a really good Grandmaster. I like it a fair amount better than the base art, which kind of looks like a character from Avatar. But hey, what are you gonna do? Um, the vote Loki. with the like lion blue is gorgeous. It's a variant I'd really like, except that the name Loki goes over the vote Loki, and for whatever reason that frustrates me. So I want that card less than I otherwise did. It is a really good card, and this is a Rion Hit Monkey, which is really nice, right? Except I already have the hip, and I have my favorite variant, the one where he's sort of jumping on someone's face with his foot and shooting. So this one's cool, but I already have the hit I want. So I'm going to be skipping these unless I happen to get them on my way to pulling for Grandmaster, and I fully plan to pull for Grandmaster. We'll talk more about that later, but your TLDR is I think Grandmaster is going to be great. Um, if you only need Grandmaster, wait till Friday. If you are missing either Loki or Hitmonkey, I think it's worth pulling for Grandmaster basically right away. I think Hitmonkey is going to be meta soon. I think Loki is basically always meta. I've got a great, great, great Loki deck for you tomorrow. All right. So synergies, kind of everything. So Ravona makes it a 1. So like you can play it last turn with White Tiger at that point and just get, 16 power play. Seems pretty good. Obviously go to Mr. Negative decks with some of those. And re-trigger Modoc for your shenanigan-y discard decks. It can trigger Monkey and Beast and Hood for bounce. After wave, it can trigger 6. Obviously, the best of those is going to be Eliath because you can basically wipe out 2 lanes if you have Prio that way. But hey, even without that play, he's gonna be completely bonkers and stellar because let's say you get a double doom, let's say you get Zola twice, right? Like you yeah, it's just silly. It's just silly. It's just silly. I don't know what else to say about it. Um we've also got if you've got a goblin on your side, they're trying to junk you up in the left or the right, you can toss a goblin back at them, move it to the middle, toss it back at them. You can get a second storm or quake early game, which seems really, really strong. Um being able to surprise Quake is a thing I like. You can also Legion, but re-legioning has value. But getting a second flooded, it seems really nice. Um, you got move shenanigans with particularly Cloak and Doctor Strange, which seem really nice. You move that card to the center, and then they're gonna pull other cards with them. You can re-trigger Shuri and play a 4 last turn. So let's say you go Shuri Red Skull and you have Ravona out, right? And then you can you can use Grandmaster to push Shuri into the middle, and then drop, I don't know, a Typhoid Mary for an extra 20 power card if you didn't see your Taskmaster. Seems like that's probably pretty good. You've got re-triggers of Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker's not in the game yet. That is Beta Ray Bill's hammer. It doubles his power. He's a 4/6, so it becomes 4/12. You can make him a 4/24 by doubling it. Pretty good with Ghost Rider. There's those games where you discard an extra card like Ghost Rider, and then like you're like, damn it, I'm gonna get the wrong card. Well, why not just trigger the right card again? Hella popped out of Lockjaw. Ghost Rider works there too. We're gonna like we got a whole second page of this. Surfer and Cerebro 3. Cerebro 3 wants to play cards like Valkyrie. Getting an extra Valkyrie trigger is great. Hell, getting an extra trigger out of Bast is sometimes game winning for those decks. Surfer twice is obviously completely incredible. Plus 4 is silly. Um, but things to note: you must move the cards have an effect if your middle is full, or there's like a Professor X there. Too damn bad. Cosmo mid is going to stop it, so you might want to consider Echo mid. Professor X, Juggernaut, Spidey, Polaris Arrow, move will mess this up, and Junk to fill mid will also help ruin this card's day. Cool. Werewolf is going to end up in Grandmaster spot, not the middle spot, which I think makes it really a good card with Werewolf because you're going to be moving power out of that left or right spot, right? But Werewolf popping in there makes up for that lost power. If he's played on Wong and you have 2 on reveals in that Wong lane, he will move both on reveals, but they'll each only trigger 1. If you have Wong mid, the card you played that moves to the center will trigger twice. And if you have more than 1 on reveal there, which when it hits is totally random. We're going to look at so many decks, but if you need help building with this card, I'm obsessed with it and super excited. So if you'd like to check out the Marvel Snap Zone Discord, and I will happily with this. Right, our first deck, this is from Drewberry. Drewberry is the king of card assessment. He does Snapper Pass every week. It comes out over the weekend, and it is one of the first things I watch. It's basically the whole community should watch Drewberry's new card content. So I like to put one of his decks in the video. This is Drewberry's Grand Bounce Miracle. I absolutely love the idea of Sarah here because Sarah says you can go completely silly last turn, right? because you can go Grandmaster Hit Monkey. Um, but you can also like double Forge. You can also double Beast or Falcon at any point in the game. Those things should make your collector super. You're making a huge collector. That's awesome. You're building Bishop. You're building everything, right? Your Bast will take one power off Beast, and other than that, it's all positive. Don't hit the hood. It's even good on Grandmaster. If Grandmaster costs one, Hit Monkey costs two, and the Stereo costs one, that is 3, 4 energy. You still have 2 energy left to play other cards with your complete nonsense of a board. There's times when just grandmastering the hood is going to be completely backbreaking for an opponent, right? All of a sudden, you're dealing with 2 demons, and then you can beast that or falcon that hood away, and it's just like good luck, just good luck. This is going to be completely nuts. I love this. Our next deck is Grandmaster Bounce. This is from Tio Justin, a creator who uses Marvel Snap Zone, who I like a lot, always does cool stuff. This is a standard bounce list. This one has even Kitty and Angela because we're going old school here. If you want a modern bounce that can run Grandmaster, check yesterday's video where we have Lambies. I don't think I threw Lambies in here. Maybe I threw it in when we talk about Hit Monkey. All right, so this is yet another version of it. Same basic concept. Doesn't run Sarah. I like Sarah here. I think Sarah's. I don't always love Sarah and bounce, but I think that because of Grandmaster, it makes a lot of sense, and I think this is really, really, really cool. All right, we got Bounce Move. This is my brew. It runs Kyra because basically Human Torch is going to be vulnerable to everything on Earth if you can get him big enough. It's running Dagger because hey, Dagger's pretty damn good, and it's running Grandmaster. So fundamentally, you're using the Grandmaster here to re-trigger either Falcon or Beast. Although, again, Hood is good. I can see I guess Ghost Spider's not really going to be useful, right? But or Iron Fist. So you probably want to add a Doctor Strange or a Cloak here, but that's reasonable enough to add without too much trouble, and you should be able to get your cards to crazy power. All right, this is from our friend Docty, or DCCTY. I don't know why. This is from Docty. Docty is another friend of ours who does really great content, and he has a great deck here. This is one of the best places to start, I think, because y'all, Double Quake's going to be great, but so is Double Shang, and so is Double Valkyrie. Right? Like if I can go Ravona and then I can go Valkyrie into um Grandmaster, I feel like I won. I've got my Cerebro stuff out. And Ravona lets me do all that stuff. This deck is sick. This is sick. This might finally be the meta Cerebro deck we've all been looking for, which means, hey y'all, pack your lizards. Because not lizards, scorpions. Because this deck seems wildly difficult to beat. This is my build. This was the first home I thought of for the deck. Grandmaster Darkrock and the Rocky Five. Um, I don't know. I feel like just giving the opponent extra junk is going to be really strong. Sorry about that. Giving an extra Widow's Bite is intensely frustrating for opponents, right? So if I go Ravona, Widow, right, and then I go Grandmaster for 1 and Rock Slide, like your opponent might just run. Right, then you feel like the game's over. You have that werewolf thing I talked about here. This is going to be the very first deck I play with Grandmaster. I love it. You really want to see Zabu or Ravona, but you have so many win conditions if you do. Feel free to consider Leech for this if you're. This is our Grandmaster Mr. Negative deck. This is our friend Den's deck. I don't love negative decks, but Grandmaster obviously fits in them. This is Negative Surfer. If you go Wong Surfer, Grandmaster, you're gonna win. I don't know how else to put that. You can also make a giant Wolfsbane and toss a giant Wolfsbane if they've given up on the Wong lane because you played Wolfsbane there. Um, you can also just chuck Ironheart and give an extra +6. Obviously, these things are very, very strong, and your opponent will not necessarily be able to stop them. And if they can't, guess what? Enjoy your cubes. This deck might want magic, but whatever. Either which way, it's super strong. Safety Blade. We're gonna look at a ton of Safety Blade. Safety is like the king of on reveal stuff, and this is a wonderful home for Grandmaster. This deck basically says, but what if I go Panther Zola or I can White Tiger? And those things seem good. If you get Mr. Negative, Havoc basically has no downside. That -1 energy on turn 5 won't matter, like at all. and then you just get a free 2/8 or 0/10 or whatever the hell he ends up being. And it's just completely wild. This is a very I don't like negative. I don't really play negative. I might have to try this one out. All right, the next one is just pure on reveal. Why bother with negative? It's an extra bit of finickiness to the deck. How about I just send Doombots or or Zolas or Panthers or Bongs all over, or White Tigers, etc., etc. You've got a bajillion plays here for Grandmaster, so that you've just got no bad hits. Got no bad hits, you probably win. Nice simple logic, right? This deck seems really strong. Safety's been playing variations of this forever with a stupidly high win rate, so it feels like that's probably worth continuing. This is my baby. I'm not going to play it because I think it's disgusting. But basically, your job here is to get priority, right? Get priority. And if you can get priority, you can wave and then you can Eliathan Grandmaster. You Eliathan Grandmaster, you kill the lane you play Eliathan. Eliath pumps to the middle, kills the other lane. You don't have enough on reveals for that to be a problem. So wonderful. Other thing you can do with this is you can storm mid, and then you can get double Doombots. You can wave, and then double Doombots all over the place. It seems like it's probably good too. Insane. Cool. This deck is yucky strong. You have the Nebula, Sunspot, Misty, Growers. You have Cyclops to take power off. And you only have Doom and Eliath really as targets, so you shouldn't really be messing yourself up. You can double Storm if you. I don't see why you would. And like maybe you got a Nebula in one of those lanes, so you know your opponent can't really mess with you. You double Storm, drop Cyclops, and then you're just like, cool, let's go to town. That's it. At that point, we probably want Jeff in here. All right, lock it down. This is yet another version that's trying to do the wave into a live thing. This one is using, instead of the Evo shell, we are using the W shell of the Guardians decks, because these decks are built to get priority. I think this might want Crossbones, but I ran out of space, and this is a sample, so it's not meant to be exactly perfect, but it does the same thing, right? Where you can just go wave into Goliath or Doom Grandmaster. Also, I don't know, a 17 power Gamora seems like it might win some games as well. So I think that's pretty damn strong here. Um, Ravona is not hitting a bajillion cards here, but you can play it with Gamora here or with Professor X, thanks to sorry, or like use Professor X on turn 4, and Professor X on turn 4 is backbreaking. So there is that. So if you go like Nebula, Ravona, who cares? Jeff or Professor X, you'll be fine. Or you can Storm, and then you got that Storm later because you've got Jeff and Doom. Yeah, this deck's gonna be really good. Like disgusting. This is Grandmaster with Lockjaw. So you basically want to hit Stormbreaker or Mjolnir here. But luckily, those are the only two things you. I guess you can hit Jubilee, but you're not too sad hitting Jubilee with this many big things in the deck. Um, Kara protects 3 of the big things, and then you should be able to win. This deck obviously cannot be played until next week when Beta Ray Bill comes out. I really, really like this deck a lot. Speaking of, we're going to go through a couple of these. These decks are just going to show up again next week. Fair warning. But we've got the grand reveal. This is Venspawn, who built some decks on Marvel Snap Zone that I really liked. I don't, as far as I know, Venspawn. It's not a content creator, but this was really cool. This is, again, this isn't even bothering with Lockjaw. It just says, let's go to town. Let's go to town. Let's build 1,000 good hits into plays. Um, let's have the ability to go Zola and Grandmaster on the last turn because of Bona. If we use um, Grandmaster early, we can Odin it to send a second on reveal out, right? Like we can Grandmaster off of Thor into the middle lane for an extra Mjolnir, and then we can drop Odin and Grandmaster again and double Mjolnirs, which is just like silly nonsense. All right, this is a bounce version of the deck. This is based off the Yo Woody MJ deck that he was became famous because I mean Kosi did a video on it and Cam did a video on it, so I feel like we had to. And now with the changes, it's got a really high win rate. But hey, this is really good, right? This one adds in Werewolf and a bounce package because all this stuff is really good together. This deck really, really wants Black Swan, and the second Black Swan comes out, this is cool. Like you're literally just waiting for Black Swan so you can go completely fuck wild with it. Grand Surfer, so Grandmaster plus Silver Surfer, right? You have to be a little careful. So you want like Shaw in the left or the right lane so that you can play Surfer there and guarantee a hit with Grandmaster. Sarah's here because making that cheaper seems good. Cool. Then you can go 3-3 Grandmaster, which seems again very, very strong. Juggernaut helps prevent opponent Grandmaster nonsense, and everything else is fairly surferific. I still win a lot with the basically this surfer deck. I don't run Sarah and I don't run Lad. So I don't know. It seems like this is probably worth looking into. It's going to be really Benjamin Roller Surfer Move. This is our friend Ben Roller. He has this Surfer Move deck. It was where he built for the dagger change, and any deck that has Cloak really likes Grandmaster, right? Because you move everything to that lane, then you play Grandmaster, right? Like you're only really moving. Sorry, you're moving your dagger to that lane and your vulture to that lane. Then you play Grandmaster and you push them center, and your opponent has to figure out where the hell you're playing these cards, and just good luck beating you at that point, right? And then you just drop like Surfer on top of that, and you're just like, boom, thank you, have a great day. All right, this is a Hercules move deck. Again, Cloak, Doctor Strange are the keys here. I really like Strange here because Doctor Strange is only pulling one card, so whatever the big thing is goes middle, and that's pretty damn strong. I really want Wave in this, but Wave means no Kaera, and no Kaera means Human Torch is really tough to run. There's a lot of Destroy out there currently, y'all. So, with that the case, it's really tough to decide, excuse me, which of these to do. But I think that this is just a nice standard list. Like this should just be good. Finally, oh wait, no, I think we might have a couple more. You've got them discard Miak Master. So this is the Miak combo deck that wants to use Miak, Morbius, and Collector and make them huge. Well, if you happen to have to use some discard early, you get to double use it with Grandmaster. If they happen to move your Wong with a Magneto, use it with Grandmaster. If you need an extra Gambit trigger, Grandmaster, etc., etc. Just a nice extra tool to have in this. Also, turn 3 of Dakin or turn 5 of Dakin into Grandmaster seems like a good way to win games. All right, so that was the last one. Does Grandmaster look good? So this week is the worst he'll ever be. People are going to meta against him like crazy this week. Expect a lot of Cosmo, a lot of Juggernaut, stuff like that. So he's not going to be as amazing as I think he's going to be this week. I still think he's going to be. More unreveal cards make him better too, and it's not like the game was going to stop making unreveal cards. And so today was 17 decks. It might have been 18. I think I added one, but I could be wrong. With no real effort or extra searching, I was just like, okay, let's go through the obvious stuff. So there's probably even more than this that are really good homes for him. So I really like him. But as always, if you need just him, we're gonna check by Friday to be sure. Let's talk some Hit Monkey. Hit Monkey is Series 4, 3,000 tokens. Was a season pass card when 2-0, the same ability. On reveal, gain +2 power for each other card you played this turn. Hit Monkey bounces in and out of the meta. It was like always meta or always a threat to be meta when it was 2-0. Much harder to play as a 3-2. But it synergizes incredibly with Black Swan, next month's season pass card. It likewise synergizes incredibly with the month after spoiled season pass card, Hope Summers. Which means look, we never know what's actually gonna happen here, but it seems reasonably likely that Hit Monkey becomes a meta card. And if Hit Monkey becomes a meta card, this is an easy way to get him because you can get him with with Grandmaster, who I think is also fairly likely to, if not now, at some point soon, be a Master. Okay, we have Lamby Bounce. This is the deck from yesterday. We talked about it yesterday. Hitmonkey's the deck. Hitmonkey and Iron Man Bishop are how this deck put out enough power to win. Hitmonkey plus Mysterio is like a thing after a Bast. It's just a silly power play to end the game. If you can do that with a Demon, just good luck to your opponent. This deck would also like Grandmaster. Lambie was noted on stream, according to one of our viewers. I didn't saying he would replace Iceman with Grandmaster. Um, I get it because the turn 1-2 of Hawkeye into Grandmaster is just an immediate 1-7. Like that's your downside with this, right? Like everything else is good. At that point, you can still beast the damn card back and get more triggers. Like it's really, really, and like it can be a 2-3, which is really strong because of Bast all around. I think it's an obvious fit in bounce. Um, and it's either Hawkeye or Iceman that goes in for. There's like the four ones that are like non-negotiable origin. All right, this is a Sarah Control Y deck. This says Den Hearthstone, but This version of the deck is, I mean, I guess it's slightly altered so Den can, but this is our friend Phil Woodard's deck. It now has Dazzler because Dazzler and now has Quake because they were both buff, but otherwise it's Phil Woodard's deck. Woodward, excuse me. So this is similar in concept. It runs Sarah just like the other versions. If you can get Zebu and Sarah out, then Enchantress and Shang-Chi only cost 2, which is completely backbreaking, which is kind of great. If both of those cost 2, Hit Monkey costs 2, that's quite the turn. Or you can only play one of them, play Mysterio for 1, Shadow King for 1, and just get a huge Hit Monkey that way. Next up, we have the Thor's deck. This is based off a deck that Glenn Jones himself used to hit Infinite with a couple seasons back. He doesn't always post his Infinite deck, but he posted this one. Nice and simple. You end the game. You play Thor, right? And this obviously won't beta ray. You play Thor on 3, then whatever on 4, Bishop something, and then you play Jane on 5. You get Yellow Jacket, Wasp, and Mjolnir, and those cards plus Hit Monkey are huge. And then you have Mysterios. That deck's really good as well. There's a lot to like here with these cards. Hit Monkeys. If you do that on Elsa, by the way, Hit Monkeys can. One more. This is a Monkey She-Hulk. The original homes to Hit Monkey were all Moon Girl decks. Were the best original homes for Moon Girl She-Hulk decks. Here is another one. If you can Moon Girl with Quinjet out, your She and you skip She-Hulk can be 0. Couple 0 cost She-Hulks, a Hit Monkey, and then say a Mysterio. Seems good. If you have Werewolf out, so much the freaking better. Although obviously it's hard to go Werewolf out at that point because Moon Girl and Werewolf are 4. But hey, let's say you just get Werewolf, Moon Girl out, and you spend your turn going with Quinjet out. You can spend your turn playing a 1 cost Mysterio, 2 cost Hit Monkey, moving around that Werewolf on top of Bishop. It's just there's a lot of power here. These decks are sick. I love Hit Monkey. It's one of my favorite cards in Marvel Snap, which is kind of cool because it is not a card I otherwise. Sorry, not a character I otherwise. All right, spotlight card Loki. You should know Loki. Loki's been the scourge of the meta since he was released in September. He is currently a 4/5, Series 5, 6,000 tokens. Was Season Pass, now just Monster. I fully expect this card to be a big bad. On reveal, transform your hand into cards from your opponent's starting deck and give them -1 cost. If Loki's not in the best deck in the game, he's in the 5 best decks in the game. Has been since he's been released. He's absolutely stellar, and I don't know how else to say this. All right, so this first deck is Lambie's the New Normal. This is, by popular acclaim, one of the top 2 to 3 decks in Snap right now. Some people think it's number 1. Um, this deck is completely sick. It is, I mean, you've got the Loki package, right? But you can also just win by going like by playing cards like Ms. Marvel, playing cards. Sorry, Inspired Virus Protection decided to pop up in the middle of my video. You can also win by playing Coulson cards, a giant Devil Dino, so on and so forth. So this deck is completely wild. Loki just goes in whatever the best shell is. Like you can, if you can figure out what a really good shell is, you can play Quinjet Snowguard. Coulson's pretty. Oh, it won't let me change slides. There we go. Did I skip one? Yeah, I did skip one. Okay. Buddy Loki, our friend Buddy, released this Loki deck. This is one of the most fun decks in the game. Morph is no longer as good as he. Fortunately, there was a point where the meta was all big dudes when Thanos was in, and then Morph was completely backbreaking and game winning. Morph is just kind of fine now. But hey, the discard cards here tend to keep your hand full, and if Fury keeps your hand full, everything really synergizes well. This is one of the most fun decks I've ever played on Marvel Snap. It's really good. It's a great home for Loki. Next up, we have Nate Biz. He calls this deck Nerf It. Some versions run Shadow King, some run Valkyrie. I think Nico is better than previous Mirage in the deck, though. This deck is basically saying I'm going to combine Loki with the Sarah Zabu Revis shell. Loki is one of the best cards in the game. That deck is one of the best decks in the game. Combine, profit. Basically, the whole gist here. It's not complicated. Also, Valkyrie goes hilariously well with Ms. Marvel, because you'd play like I don't know, guard in the left lane, Valkyrie and Ms. Marvel, and their cards suck, but you have +5. So unless they have 4 there, congrats, you win that. All right, conclusions. If you need Loki, this is an easy open, given that both he and Grandmaster are both expensive and powerful. Hit Monkey can be obtained by tokens, but get him if you're getting Black Swan next season, or hope the season after. So if you are a season pass buyer, get Hit Monkey. I'd open for Hit Monkey or Loki and Grandmaster like immediately. I don't think there's a way that really backfires. If you need just Grandmaster, he's great. But as always, wait until Friday because we are not always ready to know how good a new card will be. Certain tiers of Patreon support come with on-air thanks. Our Patreons are Models, Pretty Chill, Father Newman, Inc., No Flex, Mandatory Burnout, Matt Conduit, Good Dog Gamer, Carelessly, Mikey Hijinks, DG Winfield, Rob Silverman, Matt H., Robert River, and Abigail Gieslin, Direwolf, Ocularis, Spike Jones, Louis Antonez, Donalino, and the homie Min. All right, Grandmaster's going to be great. Putting my stamp of approval on it. Wait till Friday if you only need that card. But if you have 4 spotlights, have the and you're missing either Hitmonkey or Loki, go for it. Hit that sub button while you're there. Gave you more decks than anyone. If you're interested, have the spare cash, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/snapjudgments. We give you a ton of stuff from it. See you tomorrow with at least 3 new decks, a custom card contest winner, or peace.